Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Power Team Call tonight. I'm Emily Gernaat, I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I'm here with Kim Raddatz tonight. She's a Ruby Ambassador, and she is going to share her story, and we're going to talk about some things that I've seen in her actually and learned from her that we can all implement in our business after that. So I'm going to just hand the reins over to Kim and let her talk and share her story. And I hope that y'all are inspired by what she has to say.
Thanks, Emily, for that introduction. I like hearing the word Ruby Ambassador. I worked for that for 2 years, from Senior Gold to Ruby. So it's just an exciting time, and I'm really excited for this stage of my business. But honestly, I've been excited all the way along. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim Raddatz, as Emily said, and I am going to start with my product story because I came to Plexus for the products in 2019. And I came here because I was really sick. I had suffered for 4 years with autoimmune-based gastrointestinal problems, and I really was at the end of my rope. I had worked with doctors, both a gastroenterologist and a GP, to try to get on top of this condition and give me, really to just give me some relief so I could live a normal life. I like to horseback ride. I have very, very active children. We like to hike. And during that 4 years, they had put me on some immunosuppressive intestinal steroids, and it would help somewhat. Elimination diets would help somewhat, but really nothing worked long term. And I was told this was now my new normal. And also then my gastroenterologist was talking about putting me on some more powerful immunosuppressive drugs. And I didn't really like either of those options. The drugs had a lot of side effects, and it was hard. I had headaches. So it was hard for me to go to my job at the vet clinic. And I started looking for other options on my own. I did the Google thing. I tried over-the-counter probiotics, and I did different elimination diets of my own. But basically, I just wasn't getting on top of this. So in 2019, in December of 2019, I finally reached out to Emily. I followed Emily. We were friends before Plexus. So I followed Emily, and I remember her being at the side of her horse trailer with this package of pink drink. And so I thought, I don't really have anything to lose. I'm just going to reach out and talk to her. I was desperate and miserable. So we talked, and I decided that I was going to buy the products and give it a go. And it was the best decision I ever made, but I didn't know that at the time. I actually was very skeptical. I actually didn't think they were going to work, but I didn't have anything to lose. And I think that's a story that a lot of people have, so they might be able to relate to that, because a lot of us get here because we're really at the end of our rope. So I started taking those products, and 3 months in, I remember telling Emily, I'm only giving this 3 months. And right about the 3-month mark, I woke up one morning and I realized that something was different. I had basically lived with bloat and abdominal discomfort for years. And what happened is I got up one morning and I wasn't bloating. And that was huge. I didn't know what it was like to not bloat anymore. And so I was really excited, and I got a hold of Emily and I said, guess what? I'm not bloating. I was by no means normal. That took several more months to get everything calmed down, but this was huge. So like every good sponsor does, she said, would you like to share that? And I did, because I wanted other people to know that there's hope. I really never had thought about supplements before. I tried the over-the-counter probiotics, but natural healing wasn't something that I had thought of. And I wanted people to know that there really was something out there that could help them. So I was all in for sharing. I didn't think through what sharing meant, like what that was going to entail, because I just wanted to get the message out. So Emily set up a welcome call with Jamie, and we got on the phone, and it was on a Wednesday because that was my day not in the clinic. And Jamie told her story, and then she asked me the question, what was I thinking? Like, what did I want to do with my Plexus business? And I really didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. At this point, it was just all about telling people about the products, but they cast some vision and it got some things turning in my mind. But what happened that afternoon was a God thing. So this was March of 2020. So this is the very beginning of COVID. And that afternoon, I got a call from the vet clinic, and my boss told me that I couldn't come into work the next day. And I was in shock because what happened was that the governor of Michigan had issued a mandate that the clinic was closed to anything but emergencies. So that meant no vaccinations, no spay and neuters. If somebody's dog had arthritis, we couldn't see it. We were basically shut down. And my clinic is affiliated with an emergency clinic, which is fully stocked with veterinarians. So I didn't have a job. So in the span of maybe 4 hours, my vision changed a little bit because I remember going to the back. My husband was out back with the twins. I have twin boys. And I said, I just was told to stay home. I don't have a job for the foreseeable future. I said, but this morning I talked with Emily and Jamie, and we talked about this Plexus business. So this could really be something. So this was good. And I really think it was a God thing because it just all happened just like that. So I poured myself into learning about Plexus. I needed to. This is something not in my wheelhouse at all. I had not a lot of skills that you need for a network marketer. And like I said, I just didn't put any thought into really what that meant as far as sharing the products. I had a very small network. It was somewhere between 1 and 200 friends on Facebook. I was not active on social media at all. In fact, when it was roughly like twice a year that I would maybe put something up about my kids. So there was that. And then also technologically, I don't have a lot of skills there, and I had a lot of learning to do. I knew how to email. I knew how to write on my records at work on a computer, but I didn't know anything else. So I am blessed with a very good sponsor because she showed me so much. And then I have a techie kid. He would have been 9 at that time, but he knew a lot more than I did, and he would help me and my husband. So we got through. But what I'm saying is that if you have these things that you're like, well, I'm not good at this, you can learn things. It's just you have to put your mind to them, and it'll all work out. So basically, I got into it, and I was coachable, and they told me to put up my post and start doing my reach outs, and I did that, and I went silver that month, and that was a good thing because now I finally had something that could help me, but I needed to be able to pay for that because I didn't have a job. So I was silver, which was good. And then I went senior silver, I think the following month, and I was gold by fall. And my vision started to grow as my business grew. I was so grateful to have this opportunity to help pay for the family finances at a time when it just really, like the future, we didn't know what was going to happen. And so my vision grew that way. And then also what happened in the fall is I started to think more like long-term, what this could mean for me. I had some thoughts over the years of starting a vet practice. I had looked into it to 2 that were existing practices over the years, and then a startup at one time. But there always would be something that would hold me back. And one of the reasons was finances. So the average cost to like start a vet clinic is $500,000 to $900,000. And so that's not chump change. And so that I didn't know if I was ready to invest that. And then I'm also married to a pastor. And so he could get a call anytime. And I didn't want it to be that he would get a call and then I had a brick and mortar practice and that the decision came down to selling that or let's not go because you're paying off debt or whatever. So that always held me back. So when I started thinking about this and I could see the vision on really how far I could go with this, the fact that there's low overhead. I mean, my business cost me $39.95 in December of 2019, and I didn't even use the business at that time. And that now it's $9.95 or $1 on a good day. So that is just incredible, your buy-in. And with that, everything you get with your customer service, your website, no handling of products, my support staff, which is all of you. It's just amazing. And so when these things started to come together, this started to check a lot of boxes because I did want a business, but this business fits what I want because it can move with us too. Like if we ever have to move because my husband gets a call, I don't have to start at ground zero. I can take my clients with me, and that is a huge blessing. So that started to change. In the fall of that year, I did have to go back to work, and I wanted to go back to work, but that did cause, I had to shift at that time. I had to learn something new in my Plexus business because my time was now shorter. Excuse me. And the things that I had to learn how to do is to be more focused and intentional with my time because I didn't have just huge spreads of time anymore. And also I needed to learn some systems because I didn't have a lot of systems in place. And all those things helped me keep my business moving forward. Some of the systems that helped were saving like messages to the notes on my phone. So I had something quick there for customer care, reach outs, things like that. And then actually setting hours to do my business where it was uninterrupted time because I can focus that way. So for me, that was time in the morning before the clinic and then time after and then in the evening to catch up if I have to. But my two big times are before work and then right after. So after that, so I was senior gold in January or February of 2021. And then it did take me 2 years to go Ruby. And that's just okay because I had to learn some things. And it's a journey. And this is when my team started to grow. And I've been blessed with some wonderful women on my team. And I haven't had any secret formula for them. They all have come from different ways to be business builders. One was a product user that had used the products for a while and decided that she wanted to start her own business. And then I had one lady who signed up for the products and then said, hey, if I'm signing up for the products, I might as well get them paid for. And so she started sharing right away. And then another one, I basically messaged for 2 years and we went back and forth about the products and I didn't hear from her for a while. And then when the timing's right, she joined my team. And now it's so fun to watch their teams growing and I love seeing them hit their goals. And so things have shifted a little bit in my business that way too. Now, like Plexus is my future. I know that. And so I am so grateful for this. What it's going to allow me to do in the very near future is to actually step back my time at the vet clinic. And eventually I want to phase out being an employee and just be an independent contractor. So more on my terms. And Plexus is going to be the vehicle that's going to allow me to do that. Some of the reasons that is important for me right now is because I have very elderly parents in a different state. And if I want to make more money as a veterinarian, I have to be in the clinic seeing more clients. And that means more time away from my family, not more time with my family. And honestly, there is no amount of money for the moments with my family. Like it just is that precious to me. So that is the direction I want to move and am moving. And that's not in the too distant future. And then as I go into retirement, I'm just excited about having this business with me. It'll travel down to, I want to be in a warmer climate in the winter and then up here in the summer. And it's just perfect for that. And so I get excited about that too. I do have a tip that I want to leave you all with. And one thing that I really feel has helped me be successful is consistency. I'm not a flashy person. You're not going to see flashy reels with me. I have done a reel, so I was really proud of myself for doing that. But I'm not flashy. But I am consistent. I do show up and I do reach out to people and follow up. And that steadiness is what's grown my business. And for all of you who are just starting out, most important thing, even if you have limited time, is to get your non-negotiables done, and that's your IPA. It's 30 minutes, do your posts, get those messages out in your follow-ups, and you'll grow. So thank you for listening to me, and I look forward to meeting a lot of you in Nashville.
Thank you so much, Kim. Oh, it's so inspiring to hear your story back. I know I've heard bits and pieces of it a lot over the years, but just hearing it kind of like the chronological order of things and how it's evolved and how your vision has grown and grown and grown and grown is just so exciting. And some of the behind the scenes of that, the beginning, I was actually too intimidated to reach out to Kim because Kim is smart. Like she's a smart lady. And I felt like I was kind of new to the products myself and new to the business. And I was like intimidated. She was one of my chicken listers. In other words, I was afraid to reach out to her. So she ended up reaching out to me, which praise the Lord, she did. But anyways, and then the other behind the scenes stuff is what I get to see is that she is a woman of her word. If she says she's going to do it, she does it. She holds herself to those standards. And she's up before she goes to the clinic in the messages. I see the three-way chats popping up at 5, 6 a.m. And she's up there doing the work before and after her time at the clinic and fitting in between soccer games and all of the things because she has standards for herself and she holds herself to them. And she's responsible to her team. So that dedication has gotten her a long ways, and it's impressive. And I kind of want to take the wheel from here and talk about some of those things a little bit more in depth. Going back to standards, I'm going to help you guys zoom out from that a little bit. So standards are the day-to-day operations of your business. But how do you get to those standards? If you have a blank sheet of paper, I want you to write or draw a big circle that takes up like the whole page. And on that circle, write vision. That is the zoomed out version of your life and your business. It's the aerial view that you see. The vision is the whole picture. It encompasses the lifestyle you imagine, emotions attached to that lifestyle, your purpose on earth, your faith, your values, your legacy. All of that is encompassed by your vision. If you zoom in just a little bit further, that's your dream. Your dream is zoomed in where you can imagine it with your 5 senses. It gives you a clearer picture of what the details of your vision look like. I call this dreaming in color. I've heard that lots of times on these calls too. Imagine the color of the walls in your dream house. What does the leather of your new car feel like when you run your hands across the seat? What does your garden smell like after a thunderstorm? What do you hear? Kids playing, ocean waves crashing. Dreaming allows you to bring in a different reality to the present moment. So your dream is something that seems like it's far out there, but when you start to imagine it in color and detail with your 5 senses, it brings it into the present reality. And think about the little details. What are you wearing? Where do you shop? How do you spend your days? What do you eat? Where are you vacationing to? What does it look like, feel like, smell like, sound like? And then, so you've got your vision, that's the big circle. Your dream is the next smallest circle. And then a circle down from that, zooming in a little bit further, is your goals. A goal is something that is quantifiable. It's the monetary amount that it takes to make your vision and dreams possible. What does your actual dream cost? What would be the mortgage payment on your dream house or property? How much would it take for you to pay off all your debt or quit your job and live life like a hippie? How much would it cost for you to shop all organic foods? Or how about paying cash for college for your kids? All of these things are quantifiable numbers that you can put down on paper and say, this is what it's going to actually cost me to live this dream lifestyle that I want. Or maybe you want to have a hobby farm. How much does it cost to feed and care for the animals that you want to have? that comes up a lot on my team. I feel like I have a team full of hobby farmers or actual farmers and ranchers. Your vision and dreams have a price tag, and it's absolutely within reach, but it is important to have a clear picture of what you're actually reaching for and the amount it will take to accomplish those things. So create a mock budget and don't hold back anything. When you get to your vision, part of that vision should be financial peace, meaning you are living well within your means and the cost of all of these things are not a burden, they're a blessing. So get a ballpark idea of what that dream vision will cost so that you know what you're actually aiming for. Senior Gold, Ruby, Emerald are all great goals, but does that income support your biggest, scariest goals and dreams for your life? Or do you need to shift that? Maybe you need to expand that goal to be a 3-star diamond or a 6-star diamond. What is it going to take to make it happen? And don't be afraid to dream big. I just saw your comment, Jamie. But the big thing is you get to decide. So however big your vision or goals are, you get to decide. You might be somebody that wants a super simple life, who'll live debt-free on the side of the mountain with a little shack, and that's all you need. That's perfectly fine. And you get to decide that. So we've got our vision, the big circle. We've got our dream, the next biggest circle. We've got our goals, the smaller one yet. And then we're going to zoom in just a little further. That's your standards. Your standards are what make up your day-to-day processes. Your goals, dreams, and vision are made possible by your standards. Your vision and dreams and goals inform your standards. So if your big goal is making an extra $1,000 a month, that's amazing, and it's a worthwhile pursuit, but your daily standards for what you're going to do are going to look different than somebody who's trying to make 6 figures in a month. Both are possible, both are within reach, both require you to examine a set of standards and decide what makes sense for that actual goal. So just for example, I love to work out. I work out 4 or 5 days a week, every week, and I've made it a habit and a standard in my life. But I have a friend of mine who also loves to work out, but she's a bikini competitor. And she has a way different vision and goal for her fitness and lifestyle than I do. So her standards look like eating chicken and rice and broccoli every day and, going to the gym, not just once a day, but twice a day and pushing herself to the absolute max. And our goals and vision are completely different. So our standards are different. So if your goal is great big, but you're doing really teeny tiny little standards every day, that needs some re-examining. Once you know the standards you need to keep, and you know what it's going to take to get to your ultimate vision, now comes the real work of putting them into practice and maintaining them. The biggest uphill battle is in your mind. Every day, your brain is going to try to talk you out of your standards. And that might sound like, it's okay if I skip today, I'll make it up tomorrow. One day isn't going to make that big of a difference. Brandy over there, she's only doing 3 reach outs a day and she's getting results, so I don't need to do that many. Or I'm tired, I just don't feel like it today. Or I'm never going to get there anyway, so why try? It's just a pipe dream. That lifestyle seems so far-fetched, I can't imagine it. Or that's for people who have all of these advantages, not for people like me. And that's all bogus, but it's all very normal. It's normal to have thoughts like that. Everybody does. Everybody thinks those things. But the difference is some people take action in spite of those thoughts, and some people let those thoughts become the brake pedal in their life. And again, you get to decide. If you argue for your limitations and excuses, you get to keep them. So start arguing for your dream. Argue for the person that you are becoming. So let's just get into a couple practical, tangible things of how you can increase the likelihood of actually getting to the vision that you want and maintaining standards that you need to keep. So number one, The people you keep around you and your environment matters. The tendency, I think, when I say this to people is they think somewhere on the spectrum of like, oh, I'm not hanging around like drug addicts and murderers, so it's fine, right? Like all the people around me are relatively good people, but that that isn't actually enough. Are they living the kind of life that you want to live? How do they treat people? Are they negative? Do they have a victim mindset? Do they lack boundaries? Are they living in constant chaos? Do they have scarcity thinking? You will become a product of your environment. If you are around people who are not going where you want to go, or they aren't just a step or two ahead of you, then they will pull you back down. It's just the way it goes. They might be amazing people. They might be awesome friends and family and dearly loved people in your life. And you do not need to remove them. I'm not telling you that. But you do have to be intentional about creating relationships with people that are going where you want to go or have already been there, or they have qualities and things that you need to learn from and glean from them. Number 2, the things that you are putting in your mind matter. Everyone has 2 wolves inside of them, one good and one bad. And every day, one of them grows stronger and one of them grows weaker. The wolf that wins will be the one that you feed the most. So feed the good one. Put stuff in your brain that is good for the good wolf, so you have a fighting chance. So that means maybe you have to get off Netflix crime documentaries for a minute and you need to listen to a few podcasts or books or things that will fill you up or fill your cup. Maybe you need to do devotions every morning so that you feel spiritually filled. Think about the things that add value to your life and uplift you and help you grow in that area. Number 3, become obsessed with habits. You're already operating on a set of habits. Some of them you probably aren't even aware of, things like whether you put your right sock on before your left or your left before your right, or if you put water on your toothbrush before your toothpaste or after your toothpaste. Those are habits that you operate with on a day-to-day basis already, that you're probably completely unaware of. And it could even be things like numbing out by watching 4 hours of Netflix every night or scrolling TikTok with every spare moment. Those are also habits that are formed sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad reasons, but they're worth examining to figure out, is this habit serving me or can I replace it with another positive habit? The enemy of success is not failure, it's mediocrity. We get lulled into complacency and mediocrity that keeps us stuck in the same spot because it's easier than doing the hard work of creating habits and new thoughts. It's easier than creating new processes and new relationships, but the hard work is worth it. Number 4, reward yourself along the way and enjoy the process. The work you're doing in the middle can bring joy and fulfillment, and there can be incredible moments and memories made in the in-between. That is where life is truly lived. You cannot delay joy and satisfaction and fulfillment in life for some far off destination. You have to find ways to enjoy the moments in between, or you will look back one day and realize that the years of your life are gone. And while you may have reached a goal in the end, you do not get that time back. So learn how to enjoy the process and the journey and involve meaningful relationships along the way. I was a classic case of this. I kept delaying satisfaction, fulfillment, all of these things until I reached a certain thing. And I thought I had to be miserable in this process in order to get to my end goal. And that's just not the case. I look back at my journey through Plexus over the last 4 years, and the times that I enjoyed the most was when I was present in the moment with people, like convention coming up. My very first convention, I got to stay with Jamie. I had to do hair for the Black Tie Gala for like 15 people in order to be able to afford to be there. And I got to talk to all of those people. They were jewels and diamonds on different teams and stuff, and I got to talk to them, and I was just a gold at the time. And so those were moments that like impacted me and were fulfilling, and connections that now I look for those people when I, at convention or leaders retreat now. It's moments like that that are meaningful in your business and that are super special to enjoy along the way. Or how about involving your kids or your family in the process of your business? Yes, we talk to them about the big picture goals and all the things that we have coming down the road, but let them enjoy the process with you now too, because you can find fulfillment along the way. And that is where life is lived. When you reach diamond, that's a moment in time, a fraction of a moment in time, right? Your points hit 4,500 points and it's boom, you're a diamond, and that moment is there and gone. But the enjoyment and fulfillment needs to happen along the way as well. So do not skip that part and forget to reward yourself along the way. That is all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you, Kim, so much for sharing your story and inspiring us all and reminding us about standards as well, because you're the queen of that and we all love you for it. Thank you guys for joining, and I hope you have an amazing night.